desire and crave between you and I is like the missing piece.
For you.
Because everything else is aligned.
For you. Because for me, that's not true for me. So if you feel like you don't have a crave for me, thank you for telling me.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Today is going to be an epic one. Listen, just like Jessica said, you're going to need to grab your EpiPen because you are going to struggle to open up and breathe, okay? Listen, we're going to keep it real. I want to read a scripture to you guys. Revelations 3 verse 20. Revelations 3 verse 20 says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him and he with me." Look, God desires you, and therefore in a relationship, you should always want to feel desired by your partner. There shouldn't be a situation, of course, relationships go ups and downs, but there shouldn't be how do I say this? Oh my God, there shouldn't be an extended period of time where you're not being desired. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be a case where it's a prolonged period of time that you're not being desired, you're not being romanticized, you're not being appreciated, you're not being cared for. The Bible says that God loved us first. There is a loving that a man does for a woman. And the fact that Brittany is standing in the kitchen talking to our brother Kenneth, who is a man of God, who is a worship leader, and she's talking about desire, all I need to know is that brother don't want her. Okay, that brother don't want her. Okay, Jimmy don't want Chelsea. Okay, all right. And so these situations arise, Jimmy and Kenneth, because they don't want that woman. They're either not their type, they don't find them attractive. There's something emotionally disconnected from them. You know, they may be emotionally disconnected themselves. Whatever you want to call it. We're gonna really break it down today. All right, and I'm gonna go deep. We're going to go deep, deep, deep. Oh, you know, we're going to go deep today. All right. And so in this situation, you know, with Kenneth, with Jimmy, we've got also Amy and Johnny. We've got Jessica coming back from the dead. We've got Laura and Jeremy. There's a lot to break down in this thing, right? And so I want to say once again, Love is Blind, great episode. And there's a lot of things we need to get into. But I want to remind you again, today's episode, 2 words I want you to take away from this today: insecurity and desire. Okay? All right? Insecurity and desire. 2 words today that we're going to speak about a whole lot in this episode. Insecurity and desire. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, if you're in you're trying to get to know somebody, you can't put a finger on what desire is, because it is an energy, it is a word, it is a look, it is a touch, it is a move. Okay, it is the breath that you're breathing, the breath that you're breathing. Okay, when someone desires you, it is more than just what they say and how they do. It's on what they do. It's how they do it, right? It's how they look at you. It's how they touch you, right? How they talk about you. You know when you're being desired. Okay, you know when you're being desired. And just like Chelsea's situation too, when you're insecure, oftentimes because you feel inadequate. And when you feel inadequate, you start self-sabotaging and you start overthinking and over trying to analyze, and you try to start over doing too much in a relationship. She created a whole argument, just like the first time, created a whole argument based upon Jimmy looking at a picture of Jessica, which he came to confess to you. Okay? And created a whole argument and told that man, don't talk when I'm talking. And I said, we're going to be in a bad place. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, all right? We got AD from the last episode, but we're not going to have much of it in this episode. AD from the last episode would also fall underneath the bracket of insecurity as well, you know, because of what Clay is saying to her consistently, letting her know that he may not be ready for marriage, or, you know, he feels like he may not be able to do, he may not be able to suffice and do all that she's asked for, right? That also falls underneath insecurity. Okay, all right. We've got Laura and Jeremy, and let me tell you this now. Laura is also a control freak, and she thinks that she was better than Jeremy. And you know, when she got to his house, she realized she wasn't better. She realized the person was more cleaner than you, and when she realized he was more cleaner than her, look what she did. The moment that Laura realized that Jeremy was more cleaner than her and he beat her on that aspect, look what she did. She said, "Oh, it's almost giving serial killer vibes." Well, a minute ago, you were telling us you wanted a man that was clean, and you don't believe that men can actually be clean. The brother's now clean, and now he's giving you serial killer vibes. And you meant that in the best possible way, right? You meant that in the best possible way, right? Yeah. Jeremy's not a fool, and Jeremy's not innocent either, by the way. Okay, because he's about to do what he's about to do with Sarah. Okay, all right. So he's no fool either. He's about to have a situation with Sarah. So I'm not passing him either. Okay, all right. So, you know, we can get to that in a second too. I'm just gonna kick overviews, okay, as well. And then obviously, Amy and Johnny. I don't know what's going on here with Amy and Johnny. Okay, why are we having an argument about contraception? I'm so confused. In 2024, why are we having a conversation? Why? Why is it all your girlfriends have had birth control? My brother, put on a condom. It is not difficult. Okay, all right. We are not in we're not in a crazy world where people don't know how to do things. Okay, all right. My brother, please, again, put on a condom. It's not very hard because otherwise, she's right. Go and get a vasectomy. Otherwise, get a vasectomy. Why are we arguing about this? I don't get it. What are we doing? Why is this an argument? Why is this a source of conversation? Like brother's mad expectant that his girl is gonna just go into birth control, which is gonna affect her hormones. It's gonna affect her body. You're not even considering that, but because it was a kid, it's just a weird conversation, right? It's weird. And birth control is also not 100%. This is a problem. Unless you're gonna get the implant, and even then, it's not 100%. Nothing is 100%. This is the problem. This is what drives me nuts. There is no contraception out there that is 100%, brother. Okay, there is literally no contraception except not having sex at all that will keep any child coming through. So stop pretending and just go and get a condom. It's just mad. You know what I mean? It's mad. And you want to feel it? Go and get the thin condom. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just nuts for no reason. We're nuts for no reason. It's just nuts. It doesn't make sense. Why are we busting? I was going to busting up, but why are we sort of fighting on this topic? It don't make sense. Anyway, so listen, look. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. We're going to go deep today. Listen, like I said, you got 2 words you want to hear today: insecurity and desire. Let me tell you something. Again, insecurity and desire. We're going to break those words down, and we're going to bring it in into conversation when we're talking about, obviously, Love is Blind. And we're going to break down each couple as we go. Before we do, let me drop a little intro, and let's get into the show as well.
Little black, you know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
All right, cool. I'm not going to do Clay and AD today because there was not much that happened. I didn't make much notes on them. So we are going to skip them a little bit as well today. What I will start off with is Amy and Johnny because I just don't get it. I'm not sure what's happening. Sorry, episode 8. I'm not sure why we was having this argument, but there was a good conversation that they had, and I want to talk about it. So Amy and Johnny. Okay, all right. Amy and Johnny, their situation at the moment, it was interesting, right? They had a whole conversation because I know that old boy Johnny was like, he just doesn't want her to get pregnant. And I understand because I feel like old girl also wasn't listening to him, right? And they were talking about obviously, the timelines and having kids and stuff like that. So I'll play a little clip and let's get in.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The birth control thing is still a thing that I feel like we still have to figure out a plan for.
I think the next big jump for us really right now would be to buy a house.
Yeah.
But not to.
Okay, listen. I understand what's going on at this point, right? I get it, right? He wants to make sure that, there's no slip-ups, no accidents for having a children, okay? Okay, all right? I totally hear you. Right? I understand. And maybe part of the reason why he's so intent on it is one, because of trauma, because like he said already, he grew up that way, right? He grew up in a particular way and he doesn't want to replicate that growing up. He wants to have a family. He wants to have a foundation financially that will make him ready to have a child in that family, which I totally get, right? And I totally understand. And it makes a lot of sense, right? But I think also added to that, he may be looking at her as well and thinking to herself, she is giving me energy that she wants a kid kind of early. Okay? All right, that may be what he might be sensing. He might be sensing a little bit. It might be partly trauma, but it also might be that he might be sensing that she doesn't mind having a kid. Remember, she asked him, "Well, what happens if you have a kid in a year's time?" You know, he may be sensing that this girl is willing to break this plan of 5 years, and he's intent on making sure the 5 years is done. Right, so I think he's looking at her, going, "She won't do the 5 years, and so if I don't put this in place, we're gonna break the rules. We're gonna find ourselves in a particular place, and it's gonna be an issue." Okay, so I understand that perspective for him as well going forward. My issue with the situation is this: there were contraceptions on both sides. When she said vasectomy, you wasn't having it, right? Yeah, because you're asking her to do something, because traditionally men get to ask women to do stuff, which for me is one-sided, right? That you want her to get the contraception, which partly most of the contraception are going to be affecting hormones. Someone mentioned it as well. There's a coil, or the copper wire, or the copper copper IUD, sorry, I should say, which is great. That can also be a form of contraception, right? But my thing is, I like to have control. You know what I mean? As a man, like, I want to have a condom, because if that's not what I'm trying to do, then the condom's on there. I don't have to think about it. I know I've put the condom on. I'm good. I have a level of control over it. But if you really are trying to make sure that you don't want to have a situation, then you may want to look at a different maybe look at a different solution. Because old girl is telling you that she doesn't really feel comfortable with the contraception of going onto birth control, which is going to affect her hormones in her body. If that's the point, then my brother, go get a vasectomy. Yeah, permanently. If you want to feel the feels, go and get a vasectomy. It's not permanent. It can be reversed. Go and try that. Right? Most men are not going to agree to that. Right? We're gonna start making excuses, talking about how we're going to say. We're going to say, oh, but look, if I do that, then, I may not be able to come back. It may not be reversible, and all this kind of stuff. Okay. Well, then the same thing she can also say. Okay. So at that point, as a man, take leadership, take control of it, and just say, listen, look, brother, I'm going to take control. I'm going to put condoms on. Listen, in most cases, how many times does people have sex with a condom and it doesn't work? You know what I mean? I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does. It does. But you know what I mean? Like, you can stay in that position, and it won't affect her body, and it won't affect your body. You know what I mean? It won't. So at this point, what you're doing is putting a little bit of pressure on her, and you're putting that pressure on her as to be the person who should be. You're putting a lot of pressure on her as to be the one person who should be having responsibility, but the responsibility falls on your neck too, right? It falls on your neck too. So take control of that responsibility and minimize the risks, right? That's all. This shouldn't even be a conversation that's going on too wild. It should be It should be a simple question. Say, hey, look, babe, I would prefer you to be on contraception, right? I would prefer you to be on some of that, some kind of birth control. If she then tells me that, babe, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, my body's getting messed up, I don't want to do it. Okay, all right, I don't want to do it. Me personally, I don't care. Listen, if my babe tells me that she don't want to get pregnant and I'm married, I don't care. I'll wear a condom. I promise you, I don't care. And maybe it's just me. Okay. All right. Maybe it's just me. I just don't care. This whole thing about condom, not condom, it blows my mind for me. I don't really care personally. If you tell me you don't want a kid and you say this time upon, or you know what, I'm just going, all right, I'll put a condom on. What's the big deal? Bro, I'm still going to get mines. Like, you are even, listen. Can we talk about this real? Some of you are even getting feels and you're not even giving her the feels. She's not even climaxing. Put on a condom. There's nothing, don't go and argue about it. You're not even giving her the feels. Go put a condom on. Listen, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Okay? All right? Honestly, it's not a big deal to go and put on a condom if that's for a time and a period. Do you get what I'm saying to you? For a time and a season. It is not a problem. Don't get it twisted. Yes, it feels better to have it without the condom. We all know this as men. It does feel better. But I'm not, if you're telling me that you don't want to have children right now, or you're telling me that there's a certain situation right now that I'm just going to put one on. What is a big deal? Listen, when men tell me that it feels so much better without the condom, that you're acting as if you don't bust a nut in the condom. Like, it's kind of, it's scary to me. Okay, you know what I'm saying to you? That's what I'm saying to you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, that when you get married, you have to wait. I'm just saying that if there was a time in a period where she says, listen, I don't want to have kids or something like that, just honor it. What's the big deal? You know what I mean? I just don't get it. You're still going to get yours. It's ludicrous. You know what I'm saying? You are still going to get yours. You are still going to climax. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's very few men in this world, and some of you are going to gas it up and be like, it's me, it's me. It's not you, and we know it's not you, okay? Very few men, okay? Very few men will tell you that they've never bust a nut with a condom on. I've heard some men say that. I can't bust a nut with a condom on. Yeah. But she's not busting a nut either. So you ain't good. So just go and put the condom on. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? You know what I mean? Go and do that. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Anyway, so that's my little rant for their little situation, as well. But yeah, okay. The next thing that I think that they're worrying about is finances, because it was quite interesting. Two different ways of looking at finances. Okay.
Obviously, yes, get a house right away.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to do is I want to retire early. So I do want to live like frugally as possible, put as much money away, like cutting back on certain things. Would you be okay with that too?
I feel like I could definitely get to that. I don't know. I feel like we live in such.
Okay, so I think this is what you know. What he needs to forget. He needs to forget the condoms. I mean, forget the birth control. Where he needs control is this financial aspect. Because I'm telling you, the way she's talking, I've heard this kind of talk from women before. They are spenders beyond spenders. This kind of talk she's talking about, this is what he needs to be afraid of. Forget the birth control. This is what he needs to be afraid of, because this woman sounds like she's willing to spend and spend and spend. Because I'm telling you, when you hear people talk about, I need to get control, but I haven't been, they are spenders. Okay? They are spenders. And I don't think he's even necessarily a person who's cheap. I don't think he's actually necessarily a person who's cheap. He said still go on holidays and still go on those kind of things. So he's not saying that. What he's saying is, listen, get a budget. Let's make sure we have the same idea. Are we willing to sacrifice certain things and forego certain things in order to achieve the goal? Listen, I think in relationships, there's always seems to be the situation between spender and saver. That's how you look at it as freedom versus security, right? They're usually those kind of contrasting behaviors in a relationship quite often, where you have a saver and you have a spender, a security, and a freedom person, right? I understand that oftentimes in a relationship, I'm a person who's a bit more of a saver and security. But I also understand my partner may be a spender and freedom. And what it is about having conversation about bringing it together. And that still means we need a budget, right? We can now budget your disposable income, so that you can have a bit more, maybe you have a bit more disposable income than I do. That's fine. But there we have to also have a conversation about a budget in terms of disposable income. You want to be able to spend, fine. Here's a budget, here's disposable income you got to spend for the month. Go play, right? But we need to make sure certain things are done first in order to go forward, right? So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with someone being a spender if there is a control aspect, and there's nothing wrong with being a saver if there's an ability to be also open. Right? So they could, yes, she's right. Both of them could rub off on each other, okay, and potentially have a really good relationship if they both understand there's a mutual goal at play here. And within that, there's a scope to be able to play and maneuver and be able to access, funds, to be able to have experiences and good times. You don't want to be just frugal and you don't do nothing. Okay? All right? You don't want to be frugal and do nothing with it. You get what I'm saying to you, right? So that's also a big part of it too, right? So I think that that's a really great conversation to have. Yes, he wants to retire at 50. That's a great goal to have. He wants to retire at 50, which is going to require some level of effort on both of their parts. I don't know if it sounded like he went into her ear, but it kind of went the other ear. So he may have to slowly induce her to make her understand. Do you get what I'm saying to you? He may have to slowly induce her to make her understand where he's coming from financially, because Olga was quick to say, listen, but I still want to be able to be free. And that's fair. I understand that part as well. It is also important to experience life. No point saving everything and never experiencing life. At 50, okay, at 50, you're old, my brother. At that point, the Bible says enjoy your wife in your youth. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? So you want to find a balance. You don't want to spend all your money when you're young, but you also don't want to save all your money when you're young. Because because you can get old and you may die and you may not be able to experience it. So sometimes chop life. You know, the Bible talks about, there's a time to be merry and a time to be sorrowful. You know what I mean? There's a time to chop suya. You understand? There's a time to chop meat. There's a time to be merry and drink and dance and enjoy. Okay? All right? So, yeah. That's also important as well, right? So we've got to find a balance in that. And hopefully they can find a really good balance going forward as well. So that's a really interesting situation with them too. Let's shift it on because I've done Amy and Johnny and I think we've done them justice. Want to go to Jeremy and Laura as well. Let's go to them. Let's break them down because let me tell you something. Laura, yeah, she's a hell of a problem. People might not see it, but she is a problem. My God, she's a problem. Okay.
Many happy days.
Many. Cute kitchen. This is really, a lot of guys say that they're clean or say that they're tidy. He's like next level. Why is it also like
Organized?
oddly like brought up to the front?
Because I make sure all the labels are turned out when I open my doors.
All right, you win. You're gonna win first.
All right, cool. Laura and Jeremy. Let's have a conversation, okay? Laura and Jeremy. Let me put my thingy different now. Laura and Jeremy in episode 8. Okay. So Laura and Jeremy, the biggest issue of Laura and Jeremy, I feel, is control and a critical mouth. Okay? Laura has got a very critical mouth. And then we've got Jeremy still playing with Sarah. Because let me tell you this now. I know he showed her the message, but we all know what he's going to do next. So he's very open to meeting her because he's not actually fully committed to Laura because he sees some behaviors that he doesn't like. But is it a chicken or the egg? We don't know. All right? We don't know. Okay? What I do know is this. First and foremost, from last episode, Laura was unaccountable, didn't apologize. She's now coming to the home and talking about how, men are men ever clean, realizes he actually is clean, finds out she's beat, and then she ends up telling him that not telling him, telling us, the audience, in her confessionals that, she feels like, it's almost serial killer vibes. And I said this about Laura, that she will never be satisfied. She will always keep finding error and fault of you because that's the way that she keeps you in a particular place, right? If there's always an error and a fault of you, then you're never above her, right? And then she can never feel inadequate, right? Just like she couldn't apologize. Just like she felt embarrassed because, your boy told her the thing that you told him to go and do, right? Instead of owning up to it. So with Laura, there's always this power balance or power control in order to feel safe and feel secure. Okay? And so when you're in that space where you're overly critical, what you're doing is you're actually causing contempt, frustration, and resentment in your partner. And you don't want to do that, right? You can't keep criticizing everything they do. You must choose your time and your season. And with Laura, I don't think she has chosen that season. She just wants to always go at it. Right? She always wants to go at it. And so anything becomes an issue. Once he was clean, it's an issue, And I know and you know how it's becoming a problem is that he made a joke a little bit later on about her banter. I can't remember exactly where it was. I think it might have been here. Let me see.
Yeah, this is great.
And my CPAP.
Let me see how it works.
See if I can find
So
it.
you slip it on,
Oh, definitely.
For you, for the rest of our life.
so you don't have to see it.
It's okay.
I love it.
Lay down. Let's see what it
Okay,
looks like.
guys.
So we're gonna lay down.
I can't remember where it was. Sorry, I didn't write down the timestamp. But in the clip, he actually says, "Oh, I thought you were gonna make a joke. Like I thought you missed an opportunity to mock me." Okay, and again, when someone starts to do those kind of conversations, okay, when people start doing those conversations as well, all right, what that means in that essence is that what they're gonna say is this. I've started noticing that about you. Right? That's why Jeremy will start making those comments because he's realizing I've noticed certain comments. You keep making about me. And so that mockery you're doing, it's going to get old. Okay? That mockery you're doing is going to get very old and he's going to get frustrated. Resentment's going to kick in. And what's going to happen is he's going to go elsewhere. So I need Laura to kick down Jeremy, not May. Okay, my bad. You know what I mean? Jeremy. You know I can slew a name. But what's going to happen is that the person's going to distance themselves from you because you're overly critical of them. Okay? You're overly critical of them. Jeremy obviously gave her the screenshot a bit later on, and I'll discuss that about Jessica and the Sarah situation. But for me personally, when I look at Jeremy and Laura, I see an accident waiting to happen. I see an explosion waiting to happen. I see bombs ready to go off. And the reason being is because of her overly criticalness and his need to want to play. He's going to feel like he's being constricted, and he's going to feel like he's being reduced, and he's going to feel like he's being squashed. And whenever you start feeling like that, people tend to act differently, right? So once he starts feeling the walls closing, he's going to want to fight and break out of that constraint and the control. So Laura's got to be very, very careful. If she doesn't pay attention to the patterns of behavior and learn that she doesn't have to say everything that's on her mind and say everything that she feels, she's going to cause more issues and problems. Right? She's going to cause more issues and problems. So, yes, Laura is not as confident as you may think she is. She's not as poised and collected as she thinks she is. She's not. Right, so those are issues that she's also facing going forward with Jeremy as well. Okay, we'll move on from them. Let's get on to Chelsea and Jimmy, because let me tell you something. There's a lot to get through in these two. Okay, now listen. I don't know why I got that. Okay, Chelsea and Jimmy. Let's get to them. All right, because there's a lot to unpack here. Let's unpack this. Did any of you guys clock the conversation about Trevor? Did any of you guys clock the conversation about Trevor? Let's go into it.
So into it, and you were just like, no.
I was into it though. He had.
Oh gosh.
What?
Oh God.
Stop. You guys are gonna die because it's so on par for me.
Oh my God, he plays video games.
Trevor had a mullet, and I guess.
Oh my God.
Okay, so she starts talking about Trevor, and I think this is really interesting, right? She starts telling her friends about she had 2 connections. But in that part where she starts talking, she says about how Trevor, she talked about Trevor, how great their connection was. She said that it was perfect. There was nothing wrong with their connection, right? She was like, that was number 1. Yep, she's like, yeah, that was number 1. Did she ever say what went wrong? She never mentions what went wrong. Do you know why? Do you know why she never mentioned what went wrong? Because nothing went wrong. It was only the part where he said, I love you, and he had no other connections did she get a problem. Because the problem is actually within herself. The only problem she had was that she was trying to win. She tried to collect a man that had several other love interests. This goes back to what Trevor said. Several love interests. That's the only reason why. Because up until that point, she has nothing bad to say about Trevor. There's nothing wrong. Yes, because she was competing with Jessica in some sense. Yes, absolutely. And also because it's a sense of validation for someone who has got several people to choose you. It's a lot of a validation that the person who has several different peoples they can choose from, and they end up choosing you. So in some sense, what I always say about anxious people have egos. Because I feel like she's an anxious person. Anxious or maybe fearful, avoidant. But anxious people have egos because their ego is stemmed in control, right? Just like the avoidant is. They try to control things. And so this situation where she wanted to get into competition was about her way of trying to win and trying to get herself validated and, try to make the person want them. Because Trevor wanted her. There's no reason why that Trevor should have been the one she chose, right? Let's listen a bit more.
Yes, I freaking did. Anyway,
How was it seeing him for like the first time?
I haven't seen him.
Oh, and you did really care about him.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard to, just see who fit better. But
She has no reason as to why Trevor was the one she didn't choose. She couldn't. Okay, she couldn't. And so we still have to go back to that original. Yeah, someone mentioned it. We still have to go back to our original comment when Trevor asked her, and I said it might be editing. I don't know. I've done a separate video for this already. It might be editing. We don't know. But the fact is, Trevor said, if I had come here first and asked to marry you, what would you have said? And she paused and she threw her head back and wasn't sure. And the reason why is because she wasn't sure. Like, she went with whoever came first, right? And that's not a bad thing, by the way. That's actually not necessarily. I'm not mad at that because I understand that. Like, it's a very difficult situation to be in. You've got two people that you like. My problem is that she actually starts to mention some of the bad things that Jimmy did on this episode, right? But with Trevor, you said how he was your number one. So why don't we ever hear what changed? Why don't we ever hear what changed? Why don't we ever hear what went wrong with Trevor or what made a difference? But we can hear all the things about Jimmy. Interesting stuff, right?
Hey, you know what? Everything worked out how it should have, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, you met a really great guy.
Yeah,
and you're
crazy.
I know, but you found your person.
I did.
I guess
He,
my first question is, does he look like how you thought he'd look?
No.
Does he snore?
No, he's the quietest sleeper
That's
ever.
good. But what about physical? It's not one of
Okay, now we're going to get some serious business. Okay? Now we're going to get some serious business. Before we get to that point, I want to say, so yes, she said she had a lot of connections. Anyway, she had Jimmy and Trevor. That's who she had. But I wanted to be able to, yeah, sorry, that was it. Yeah, thank you. Jay, why are you in my notes, babe? You're in my notes. You're in my notes. You're in my notes. You're in my notes. I need you to get out my notes, Jay. Get out my notes. And that's what I wanted to come on to. So I wanted to come on to the situation with Chelsea and go deeper with her, right? So the biggest issue I feel with Chelsea is that for her, number one, she wants to feel validated by a desire. She wants someone to choose her that, you know, had a multiple of different options because it makes her feel validated that she's wanted above everybody else. But the other aspect also that comes with this, right, is that the other aspect that comes with this is she obviously knew that Trevor had nobody else. Nobody else. Right? So no one else wants him. So what happens is if you're not secure in yourself, you're going to try to look for social proofing. Right? And this is where insecurity kicks in. When you feel inadequate yourself, you're looking for external adequacy through someone's choice of you. And so what actually happens, instead of choosing a person who you actually connected with and you really got on with, because they have nobody else, it would have not validated your esteem and your self-worth and your self-value. So you end up choosing Jimmy. Because the social proof would have been that Jimmy was wanted by everybody else. That's social proofing. Social proofing in the sense of other people are telling you this person's good looking or amazing. Right? Meanwhile, Jimmy's average looking. Okay, so because of the inadequacy within herself, she looked outwardly at the social proofing of other people saying, "Oh, I'm connected with Jimmy. I got Jimmy on my list. You know, Jimmy's also this," and the person who also is chasing Jimmy is a baddie. Can we be honest? So and again, when you're not adequate in yourself, why is the baddie chasing Jimmy? Really deep, what's happening here? Why is the baddie, Jessica, choosing someone like Jimmy? That means he must have a lot of worth. That means he must have a lot of value. Therefore, I want him too. This is social proofing. And so if that's the case, then that means if he chooses me, then I've got a whole lot of validation. I must be worthy. I must be wanted. I must be amazing. I must be great. I must be fabulous. Right? And this is all stemming from the inadequacy within herself. But it's also playing a role because outwardly she's looking at the competition, Jessica, and that girl is a fire girl. But it's also the very same thing that's going to tear her down. Right? It's also the very same thing that is going to tear her down. Right? Because of her own insecurity. So now she chooses someone like Jimmy instead of someone like Trevor who actually wanted her. Right? Someone who actually wanted her. Someone who actually would have made her feel calm, assured, loved, appreciated. Somebody who had a secure attachment. She found him to be the person that was not wanted by everybody, and she didn't go after him. Right? That's a political situation. Okay? Listen, I know. They said that she's a baddie in the group. I know. I know. And you know what? Yes, maybe Trevor can. I don't whether he'll be able to forgive. I don't know, but it would be a better dynamic for Trevor and Jessica to link up. I don't know if he would because he done sex. She Jimmy already done sexed it. So I don't know. I don't know. You know. So, and Trevor is actually her type. Built, muscly, hench. Yeah, Trevor was actually her type. Madness. Unfortunately, you know, she's not in that situation anymore. Okay, next part I want to address is this next part as well, okay, about physical touch and their behaviors.
Of his love languages?
No, it is though. That's why it's really weird. I'm making dinner. Like, I want to enjoy being around you and like being silly with you. And he's just,
Ooh. Well.
he hasn't kissed me once today. What? Mm-hmm. What? It might just be me.
No.
You know, like,
No.
Now, listen, you have every right to want your partner to want to be around you. You have every right for your partner to want to desire you. You have every right to want your man to touch upon you, rub your booty, rub breast, kiss you on your neck, be all up in your space, smell your neck and everything. You have every right to want a man that desires you on the highest level. There is nothing wrong with that. You should want that. My problem with Chelsea is that she's got convenient amnesia. Okay? And it's not the first time. There's convenient amnesia in her brain that seems to play out whenever she wants to make a point. Right? And at that point, right, it causes issues in a relationship because that convenient amnesia leads her to want to say things like, you don't want me, you don't desire me, you don't like me. The catastrophizing of a relationship. All because of insecurity. Right? So now we got situations where she's like, you don't kiss me. And he told you, I kissed you here and I kissed you there. I kissed you twice today. You didn't kiss me once today. I kissed you twice today. Right? Because she doesn't feel adequate enough, right? So what's going to happen is that wound that's there, she's always going to be a black hole sucking someone else in. Right? She's always going to be someone sucking the whole. This is the same thing that happened on the first night. Oh, you spun AD around. He's like, wait, I didn't spin her around. I didn't spin her around. Where did I spin her around? She also now starts to even imagine the narrative. That's going to get scary. Okay? That's going to get really, really scary. That you're now in a place where you're reimagining the narrative. Right? And so in that story, she is now turning the story on its head and causing major issues within the relationship. Listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting your partner to touch you, to be up on you, to be up in your space. But what she's asking for is being clingy. Because he's doing that stuff. And we're hearing him talk about how he cares about her. We're hearing him talk about how he wants her. We're hearing him speak about how he likes her. Okay? Now, of course, let's be also honest. She has a point. Now, we ain't going to lie about it. Okay? Two truths can be right. We ain't going to lie about it. No matter how much he says it, we also know he don't feel it like that. So she's not wrong. Right? This is the classic avoidant, anxious loop that's happening. Okay? All right? It's a classic avoidant, anxious loop. That's what they're playing out. I'm not going to pretend as if Jimmy is innocent in this particular aspect. He doesn't want her. Right? He doesn't want her. So she's not lying about what she feels. She's not, but she's still insecure. Right? Because she reimagines stories. All right? So that's not going to be out the picture. Two truths can be right. Okay? Jimmy's willing to go to the grave with this, bro. Yeah? But that brother doesn't feel it like that. Okay? He doesn't feel it like that. Okay? Now, let's focus on her and then we'll focus on Jimmy after that because we know that he don't feel her like that. We know Jimmy wants Jessica. Okay? And he's done some things to prove that point. Okay. So, obviously, going back to her point, I want to play one of the clips.
Amy, you stop.
he saw a picture of the girl that he almost picked yesterday, and she's stunning. Jimmy wasn't sure if he was gonna pick her. He wasn't sure if he was gonna pick me. Same situation I was in. But he's not like saying like, oh, like I missed it. Like they ended really bad.
But if that's what helped him come to the decision.
Now, of course, listen, they're going to ask him later on as well the question because she's like, oh, they're not going to, she's talking about obviously the situation with old girl. And and you know, Jessica. And look, let me be very real with you, okay? All right, sis. I know he saw the picture and yes, and everything, but he actually never gave you no pause for concern. If I'm honest with you, okay, all right. He never really gave you a cause for concern in terms of the picture. You know, and at the end of the day, like I said, you know, I feel like with Chelsea, what she does is that she already has an idea and a narrative in her head already, and she's committed to the narrative. Like, she's committed to it, right? She's committed to the narrative. And so, you know, this situation with Jimmy, have you noticed always, and you know, it's also interesting as well, because the arguments that always come, she always ends up in a place of telling him, keep quiet, I'm talking. It's almost as if she's trying to get her power back. It's like, babe, this isn't the scenario to get your power back. He's not the man that hurt you. Okay? He's not the man that didn't want you. He's not the man that didn't like you. Okay? I mean, kind of. But you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to get your power back, but this isn't the situation, because now it's causing you to actually act out in the relationship. Okay? All right? I know that Jessica's a fine babe and there's heat on your neck, but I need you to chill. Okay, look at this part.
That made you fall in love with Chelsea.
I mean, I got a bunch.
I know, 'cause you were popular for what I hear.
I had 2 really strong relationships, pretty deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really tough decision to make. One girl, not to talk about another person, but she...
I also want to be honest though. When he said he had a bunch, I had to believe him. Like, as much as I feel like Jimmy might have wanted Jessica because she's a fine babe, I have to be honest though. You know, there's the way he answers questions when it comes to Chelsea. You know, I can't be mad at it. The brother, he doesn't give you an impression that he doesn't like her. Can we be honest? Maybe again, he's a very good smooth talker. Maybe he's a salesman. Maybe that's what it is. But he doesn't give you the impression like he don't like her. You know what I'm saying to you? Because whenever they ask him a question about how do you feel about her, he's always got a good answer. He's always got a solid answer. I like it. It's good. It's going well. It's perfect. I love how we do this. I love how we do that. He always seems to be, you know, he always seems to be telling some goodness about her. So that can be very difficult as well too, because if you're seeing behavior that doesn't match the words being said, that can be very difficult as well for the other person too. And I understand that, but so far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen anything negative from Jimmy as of such, apart from the fact that he added Jessica on Instagram. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I want to get the question concerning Jessica. We answered as well.
And I went in there with her, and she could tell by my tone of voice I was sad from how the last date ended, and she just picked me up. And like,
she does that.
I
thought he was gonna dump me. Wait, did you really? Mm-hmm. And that was when he told me he loved me. Basically.
And that's the biggest issue right there for Jessica. I mean, for our good sis Chelsea. Her issue is she never thought he was going to choose her. This is what I'm telling you about. She never thought he was going to choose her. That's why there's such an imbalance, because he never thought this girl can choose me. And whenever you're in a position of I never thought you would choose me, that situation, the person usually has an esteem issue. And that's why when he said, I love you, it's even more heavy for her, because it's like, this is the one that she really, really wanted, quote unquote. I mean, that's the one she wanted, but that's not the one she actually needs. And so, unfortunately, now you're in a situation where now your insecurities are literally sabotaging this relationship. He's telling you one thing and you're not believing him, and you're always trying to change it. Like, no, he doesn't care about me. He doesn't want me. You're committed to the narrative, right? You're committed to a narrative that he doesn't want you. And that's a problem too, right?
Yeah, we're moving into my apartment. It's so small, but...
So you would move into his place?
He's going to bed angry?
Damn.
I want to get this part here for you guys.
You look nothing like a typical guy.
I was really nice, but...
She described what...
Chelsea.
There's a part here. Okay, I can't even find it. I wish I could find it for you guys. I want to find it for you guys in that part. I'll go to the very end, the argument that they had, because I'm going to tell you, that argument came out of, I mean, it was like 0 to 100. But the truth came out. Let's be honest, the truth came out with this situation. The truth came all the way out. But let's deal with this situation here, right? This is the beginning of the madness for me. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Kiss you on your cheek, and then before your friends came over, before my last meeting of the day, I kissed you like right here. Because it was like right after you got done getting ready. You communicated to me that you want me to love on you. I'm aware I didn't do that today. It wasn't intentional. I'll work on kissing you a little bit more.
No, babe, that's not.
So brother said, listen, hey, I heard you. Okay? I heard you. And let me be real with you. I want to kiss. I heard you, but I gave you a kiss earlier on, and I gave you another kiss earlier on. Because she already said, oh, I didn't get a kiss today. He said, no. I gave you a kiss twice. Now, I'm going to work on my intimacy, if you want to call it, I'm going to work on my intimacy in that aspect, in terms of, being more affectionate for you, right? That's what he said. I think it was a really good answer, right? Now, let's be honest. Let's be freaking honest. It takes two to tango in this situation, right? Because I don't think he's giving her full-blown kisses. I can't be lied to you. I don't think he's giving her those full-blown kisses. I don't think he is. Okay? Because when a brother tells me that his lip is hurting, that's why he couldn't talk. I said, you playing too. All right? You playing around too.
I did feel like, especially after our conversation about Jazz.
Yeah.
I think just you seeing a picture of her, I was like, yeah, maybe he's just like wondering what would life be like with Jazz.
I didn't bring her up because...
Now listen, this is where it spirals. And it spirals here because she didn't want to believe what he was saying. Let's be honest, right? He told her, listen, hey, there was a picture of Jessica. I saw it only because of JERAMEY. And she's like, oh, I thought, and this is where she feels things have changed. Like, I feel things have changed because you saw the imagery of, sorry, you saw the fact that Jessica on Instagram. And now in her head, she's linking that to a problem. Right? She's now linking that to a problem. Although he brought that information to her and let her know and told her the story, she's now about to make that a problem and an issue in this scenario. Let's go.
Because I was picturing a life with her. I brought it up because JERAMEY brought it up to me. He asked if I saw Jess, and I hadn't. And he showed me her Instagram and basically was like, she looks like a Kardashian. And I only say that because it was brought up and I just wanted to fill you in on the conversation I had around.
And I know, and I love.
So again, he was being honest about it, but the problem with being honest about it is that oftentimes when people are insecure, being honest don't even help them because the honesty is actually what they're going to use against you. You know what I mean? Right? The problem with insecurity is even when you bring the truth to them, they're going to use the truth against you. So now she's about to use whatever information you've given her, and it's going to be turned on its neck, and you're going to be the one to collect. Okay? You're going to be the one in trouble. You're going to be the one in problem. You're going to be the one. She's going to use that very truth and say, but what about this? But what about that? But what about this? Okay?
Love that, but in my head, I think like, oh, shit, not shit, but like he saw a picture of her. Now he's like thinking like, damn it, I fucked up, which is not right for me to think.
That wasn't what came across my mind. I made my decision with you, and I'm 100% on my decision with you.
Now, she says obviously she's already building a narrative. It feels like you might have felt like you didn't want me and you didn't like me and da. Cool, right? Cool. Not a problem, right? But then he's going to tell you and reassure you, hey, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Listen, hey, look, I still want you. I still like you. Okay? All right? And everything like that. He lets her know. He's assuring her that I'm still in this. I'm still wanting you. Right? But listen, no matter what he says, she's committed to a narrative. She won't let it go. Look at her face. Look at her face. Does it look like somebody wants to let it go? She don't believe a word he said.
I'm sorry that I got a little busy today, and I'm glad you're talking to me. I want you to
also
feel love.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm a huge nurturer, and my main concern is like, and when you do say I love you, you don't really like say it. You say like
my tone. I bit the shit out of my lip.
I know, baby, but I'm
now look. She's not, and I joked about the lip situation, right? Look at this. Literally, she said, "Oh, my concern is the tone that you say I love you," and he was like, "Look, hey, I bit my lip today, so the way I'm talking might sound a little bit different, right?" Now, my thing also is this, right? Listen, I think there are deep issues there, but I also think there is a little bit of truth in this, right? Because even if you're an anxious person, you do oftentimes you are somebody who's able to kind of discern when energy's changing, right? So as much as I think she's insecure, I do believe also that she's sensing that there's a little bit of a change there, right? And that's also true. So two truths can be true. Because I really don't think he loves her like that. You know what I mean? Let me not say I don't think he loves her like that. That's a falsity. I think he does love her, but I think the problem is the face is not matching what he thought it was. right? So he's pulling back. So it's more of a case of he's pulling back. But the problem is he's already committed because, of course, they had already meshed emotionally. So now pulling back physically can be a little bit of a, you know what I mean? So, you know, that lip shouldn't have caused a tone. I think that's more of the energy. Brother, come on.
I love you, and I give you so much of me, and I want you to give me all of you. And when you tell me you love me, it's just kind of like, love you.
And I know you don't want me just to go through the motions, just to say it or just kiss you just because I know you want it.
It's not you want me.
I do want you. I do want you, and
I'm over here like really trying.
At the moment, the conversation is still calm. Obviously, he's still trying to let her know, listen, you know what, look, I still want you. I still appreciate you. I still want to, you know, I still want this, connect with you. You know, but again, Chelsea's like a rabid dog with a bone in her mouth. She's not going to let this go. Okay? She's not going to let this go. And she's saying she's giving all of him. I hear it. I hear it. Okay? I hear it. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of not really getting a glimpse of like you.
It's just today, or was it yesterday too?
It was yesterday.
Really?
Look at man's... No. Listen. Look at man's face. Watch. Hold on.
I ask you to marry me because I am 100%.
He's starting to sweat, okay? He's starting to sweat. And why? Because it's more... This is not the first time. This is not the first time they had a conversation like this. He can... And I'm not saying that, listen, he's not a part to play in this, but I'm saying it's like... This is like the second or third time this has happened again. Like, the brother has had another one of these arguments where it's like gone from 0 to 100 and she's catastrophizing once more again. Why are you always catastrophizing? Why? Why are you always catastrophizing? So now he's going to be stressed because like he can feel it again. It's coming again. Once more, the situation's coming again. The issue's coming again. Once more, the thing is coming up again. Oh, my God. It's a problem. Not you guys taking the mick out of me saying catastrophizing. Okay? All right? Catastrophizing. Yeah. Well, you ain't going to get me today. You ain't going to get me today.
Invested and going to do everything in my power to make it my life. And I want to have a life with you. I want that more than anything at this point.
You gave me this.
I know I did. I do love you.
I want to feel it, and I don't really feel it right now.
Look, okay, so back to my words like I said today, right? Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. He's saying the right things, but sometimes the energy isn't right? Sometimes you're saying the right things, but the energy isn't right. I want to be very honest with you. And men, you know what I'm talking about. There have been plenty of men that would have said, look, I love you, I care about you, I want you. But when the relationship breaks, they're like, do you know what? I really knew that I didn't really want you. Or I didn't really love you the way I should have loved you, right? So whilst I think she is insecure, there is also an energy that comes behind your words that oftentimes precedes it to the other person that receives it, right? And that I love you and I want to marry you, yeah, but there's something behind it sometimes. Right? And that something behind it is, I feel like you're not fully committed. Okay? Right? And the fully committed part is this. He told us she's a liar about how she looks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be real with you. There's no comeback from that. Imagine you saying to somebody who, like, you're about to marry, but you're telling your friends, you know what, I can't lie to you. She lied to me about her looks. She's a liar. There ain't much of a comeback after that. So yeah, when you're telling me that you love her and you care about her, I hear it. I think you do care about her because you were in a pods for how long, and literally you guys spent an awesome amount of time. Emotionally you connect, but sexually and mentally, sexually and physically, you're not connected. You're not connected. You know what I mean? You're not connected, right? Listen, I'm gonna go deep. Because I have to go there, right? This guy Jimmy's going to get to a point where he's going to tell us he doesn't really even want to have sex with you. That is mad. He feels like he's being pressured to have sex. That's mad. That's mad. I can't lie to you. That's mad to me. That's mad to me. Why are you not having sex? Why you don't want to have... that's mad to me. Okay? All right. Yeah, they've been sexing under pressure. That's a different situation. Yeah. That brother, okay, is afraid. Okay. That brother is not feeling her like that. And the fact that he actually mentioned it, I'm just saying. You know, I don't know what happens in later episodes. I cannot tell you what happens. I can only go by the evidence I see in this episode. I don't know what he says in episode 9. But all I'm saying is the brother's afraid. Yeah? The brother's afraid. I'm just saying. I'm just going by what he said. Am I putting 10 on 2 after what he said? Okay, let me get a clip. Hold on.
I'm not going to be able to tell you I love you every single hour of the day.
Let me get a clip. Because maybe I'm bugging.
I chose you. I know. You give 100%.
I'm not done talking. You started causing these problems. I know. It's just like I'm so disrespectful. Like, I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Like,
hold on, where's the clip? Let me find a clip. This brother
you started causing these problems and
this brother told her.
Especially someone who put a fucking ring on my finger.
That's not your whole personality now. I'm saying the last few days, you have been a little clingy.
All right.
Okay, it's coming up now. So listen, I just want to be honest with you. It's coming up, right? Now, here's my thing. You know, in that conversation, obviously he mentions about sex. Okay. I don't want to be rude. I want to be respectful. Listen, I'll play the clip. I just don't even talk too much.
Well, expect a lot less from me now because that's fucking bullshit. Maybe I should stay at my place tonight because this is not cool.
I love you and I want to be with you and I want a life with you.
You didn't kiss me once today.
I did.
You never tell me you love me. Okay.
I rolled out of bed.
You started causing these problems and
where is the clip?
Okay, this is
I'm gonna have to find it for you guys. Hold on. I'll find it for you guys because before they copyright me and get mad at me, let me find a clip for you guys. I'll find it for you guys so we can discuss. You know what I mean? I think it's coming up actually. Yeah. So, but yeah, one thing that obviously as well that Chelsea does also too. Oh, okay. Here we go. I got the clip, guys. I got the clip. Okay. I got the clip. I got the clip.
I cooked you dinner. I stayed by myself. Then I sat and watched your fucking show with you. And you said and then went upstairs and had sex with you? And I'm too clingy? No, this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. That's fucking rude. That's so fucking
Well, if you're going to bring up the sex, you're the one that wanted to have sex.
Yeah, I
also,
did.
maybe wanted a little breather from that too.
I don't... Yo. Never in my history of man-dem have I heard a man said I might need a little bit of a distancing from you from the sex too. Okay? Yeah? Let me roll it back for you. You think you thought I was being mad when I said what I said. Let's roll it back. Hold on. Let's roll it back. I'll put sound in a second. Okay, listen. He said if you're gonna bring up sex, you're the one that wanted to have sex. I want you to understand something. Okay, all right. Okay, now the brother is stressed. He is. Okay, but let me just play this part of the clip because I didn't say this, and let me play it in normal speed so nobody misses this. Okay, all right. The brother.
You're the one that wanted to have sex.
Yeah, I
also,
did.
maybe wanted a little breather from that too.
He said, I also wanted a breather from that too. Now, I don't know about y'all. Okay? But when a man says he wants a break from sex with you, I just need you to understand if he's not sexing you, I don't want to go there because y'all want me to be PG today, but you want me to go there? Do you want me to go there? Let me go down.
Take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Let me tell you the truth. Somebody needs to know the truth. Let me tell you the truth. Okay, look, let me tell you the truth. Okay? Men, yeah? Okay, as men, okay, all right? Listen, we do not need to lie to women. Men love sex. Most of us do. Jimmy's not an exception, okay? All right? No exception. But here's the thing. If a brother's going to tell you, I even want to break from sex with you, that man never liked you. Listen, as men, we can have sex with you and hate you at the same time. They don't want to tell you that, but I'll tell you the truth. As a man, I can tell you the truth. I can sex you and not like you. I honestly can. I can sex you and not have any desire for your goodness of health in your life. I don't care about you. You're a body to me. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? So when a brother can come out and tell you that, you know what, it's gotten to a point. Let me put it up on there so you can see it. I also wanted a breather from that too in terms of sex. I'm telling you, that brother don't like you. The brother don't like you like that. The brother don't like you like that. Right? The brother don't like you like that. He don't. And the whole point is, I don't think he really found her, he didn't find her attractive because she lied about what she looked like, and he himself, right, thought she looked like Megan Fox. And when he found out she wasn't looking like Megan Fox, he was heartbroken about that. And now the emotional and the physical and the sexual do not match. They don't match. So if they don't match, it's very difficult to now really like and love this person, because sexually and physically have to match too. Why are you withholding sex? No, real spit. Why are you withholding sex? Right? Why are you withholding sex? It's a key question. Why doesn't he want to have sex? Why is he saying he wants to pull back from sex all of a sudden? Yeah, because he don't like her like that no more. You know what I mean? And you know what he's doing? He's under. Listen, he feels like he's being forced to have sex with her at this point. That's what's happening. Right? He feels like he feels like he's being forced to have sex at this point. Right? That's why he's doing it. He's under pressure because, again, he's a people pleaser, right? And instead of just being honest about he don't like her and he doesn't rate her face, instead he's subjected himself to sex in that position. Someone said he's having buyer's remorse. Absolutely. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's before seeing Jessica. Seeing Jessica didn't make him feel that way. He always felt that way. The moment the doors opened and it went shoom, and it revealed and he saw her. That is a moment he realized the physical and the sexual do not match with what I see emotionally. So emotionally, he's not lying. He does care about her. One could even say that he does love her, but he doesn't like her. Because a part of the liking also too is I like your face. Yeah, I'm attracted to you. Part of that liking for men is I like your face and I like you. Yes, and if you're having to initiate sex all the time with a man, just cut it right there. Just cut it right there. Just cut it right there. Cut it right there. Just cut it right there. Now, of course, your man might have, erectile dysfunction. Maybe that's the reason why he's not pursuing it. But let's be honest. Cut it right there. Cut it right there. If you're always having to initiate sex with your man, cut it right there. That nigga don't want you. He don't want you. He don't want you. Okay? All right? Cut it right there. That man don't want you. Because listen, I'm not saying that, of course, and you're absolutely right, Elstead. You think I don't mind when a woman comes and touches me? I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. But I also like the fact that I can also pursue. You know what I'm saying to you? I like the fact when I touch you, you feel some way. I like the fact that you feel hot when you know that I'm coming towards you. You know what I'm saying to you? When you start feeling a little bit down below, you know what I'm saying to you? That makes me feel good as a man. So the fact that you're always pursuing me and always having to initiate, you don't like her. Leave her alone. She don't do it for you. Okay? Just don't do it. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Brothers will initiate with girls they find unattractive. So how much more do you hate her that you don't even want to initiate the sex? Just saying. Just saying. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So just a reminder, just in case people were telling me I was moving mad, just a reminder, let's play it again.
This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. That's fucking rude. That's so fucking
Well, if you're going to
rude.
bring up the sex, you're the one that wanted to have sex.
Yeah, I
also,
did.
maybe wanted a little breather from that too.
Man said I also maybe wanted a little bit of a breather from that too. Listen, a man will do many things, but to spite himself and cut off his own nose when it comes to sex, we not do. To spite you, I'm gonna cut off my nose in order to prove a point to you, I'm not gonna do it. So if I'm gonna try and hurt you, it's not gonna be the sex part I'm gonna talk about. I'm not going to tell you your sex is whack or your sex is bad or when you throw it back or your pum pum this, that. I'm not going to say those things because I'm not cutting off my supply. So the fact that he mentioned sex, he's over it. He's over it. I'm so sorry. So if your partner does stuff like this, they're over it. They need to be honest about what is actually distracting them from actually wanting to have intimacy with you. Okay? He don't want it. He don't want it. And the way he said it as well, was like, you know what? I've been waiting for an opportunity and you just had to go there, I'm going to let you know. Like, if someone's in the I have to let you know, I'm telling you, you're in a bad place. Why am I in a place of I have to let you know? Think about it. You know, we've all done those things in arguments where it's like, all right, I got your number. Don't worry, I'm waiting. Try me. See what I got something for you. And you bring what you have for them. Why are you bringing sex to the table? Now, I want to know, Sean, have you ever brought sex to the table as an argument? I want to know. Let's be honest here. Let's be freaking honest here. When you're going for the jugular, there are areas that you don't spite your own self. Sex is one of those positions. Why would you choose sex? Right? Except it's annoying you. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. The sex is annoying you. That is the whole point. It's a jugular. You can't go for someone's jugular. You can't be angry about trying to get at somebody unless that point is trying to draw for something because it has some truth to it. Like if a girl says to me, but your D game was poor, right, to get at me. Well, if she says that and it's the truth and she's got some truth behind it, nah. Like, what can I say? But if I know my D game is correct, she ain't never going to use that as a juggler because she knows the D game is correct. You know what I'm saying to you? It's why I always make sure, whilst I was on the streets, we try to do our best job so that no one can come back and say those things. You know what I'm saying to you? You feel me? So that can never be an argument. You know what I'm saying to you? And when you throw it down correctly because they never use it as an argument point. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? Boom! So the fact that he's using that as an argument is telling me you ain't liking the sex and you ain't liking the person. You can't, I'm just saying, so listen, you can't throw that out there and play it off like it's a bad day in the office. This is not a bad day in the office, right? It really isn't a bad day in the office. This is you. This is you saying that in this department, I don't even like doing it. It's boring. I'm thinking about something else when I see you. I ain't even want it like that. We have to be honest about it. As joking as I'm joking, we have to be honest about it. Why hasn't he touched you? Like, look. So, again, all I'm saying is he doesn't rate her like that and does not like her like that. Yeah? Okay? I'm sure you guys have been in relationships longer than I have, maybe have more experience. I want to know, ladies, in the chat, has a man thrown that back in your face? Let me know. Has he thrown something sexual back in your face? If he has, we'd love to. No, maybe that's a bit too much. But you know what I mean? Because you're only throwing that because there's some level of truth behind it and you don't care about the person. Because when you do care about a person, you ain't trying to throw that at them. That's not, you're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying to you? Which means you've been bearing with for a very long time. You know what I'm saying to you? You've been bearing with for a very long time, right? So it's not that it's not a deep thing to say. It's the fact that unless you've been bearing with it for a very long time, let's say for instance he's got a small penis. When you're angry and it gets to a point where you're almost done with a relationship, you might drop that bar on him. When it's at the very, very end, you might drop that bar on him and say, you know what? You got a small thing anyway, right? But it's true. That's the whole point. That's why you're saying it, because it's true. If he didn't have one, you wouldn't say that. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Right? Do you see what I'm saying to you? You wouldn't drop that bar if it was false. But anyway, let us move on. There's more to the conversation than that, okay? All right? There's more to life than just the pinus, okay? What we're not going to do also is, Chelsea, when we are not, Chelsea, what we're not going to do is you like to reverse engineer the blame. You are like your friend, Laura. You like to flip the blame. The whole argument happened because of you. It didn't happen because of him. It happened because of you. He's not the issue here. You the issue. You caused this issue to happen. So I don't know why you're flipping it as if he's the one that's sabotaging. You sabotaging. That's one of my biggest problems with Chelsea. I said this last time in my video with her. I said that she does this in the very first argument. She does the exact same thing. She caused an argument and then blames the other person for causing the argument. How? 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 How are you causing the argument and then blaming me for me doing it? Now, I've kind of seen this behavior before. There's going to be a whole lot more things that are going to happen. This thing that's she's doing, she's already got convenient amnesia. Okay? She's already flipping the narrative. The next thing is she's going to start controlling who you can talk to and who you can't talk to. She's going to start telling you she feels uncomfortable when you talk to women. She's going to start telling you that, you know what, when you're at work, I don't know what you're doing. Who are you talking to? The next thing she's going to talk about is going to be, next thing you know, before you know it, triangulation is going to happen. She'll have a friend or a guy friend. She'll try to flirt with that guy friend and make you feel jealous and say, why are you feeling so stressed? Before you know it, an ex is going to come back into the picture. There's going to be a whole bunch of manipulation that's going to happen because her insecurity is insatiable. It's insatiable. There's a lot more coming for Jimmy. If he stays any longer, there's a lot more coming. Okay? Right? There's a lot more coming. So he needs to get out of here because it's going to get worse. It's only a few days in and she's doing this already. It's going to get worse. Yeah, turn your location on. That's the one that you want. Turn location on. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. He's in for a shock and a ride, my friend. A shock and a ride. Now, let's talk about, obviously, Jessica and Laura. Because, let's be honest, let's talk about Jessica. Because, honestly, Jessica just wants to win. Okay? I don't believe she loves that man, Jimmy. She just wants to win. Okay? I hear it. All right, cool. Let's play the next one as well. All right, let's get this going.
So you're being petty. That's interesting.
So I'm like, ooh, you must be thinking about me.
You're not repulsed by it.
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now, Laura thinks first and foremost, Laura thinks she's slick. Okay? Laura, you think you slick for that little comment. Oh, you're not repulsed by him. Just because you're repulsed by him, why are you trying to put it on Jessica? That's something I have to rate. That's one thing I had to rate Jessica for. Laura thought she was slick by dropping that comment. Oh, you don't think you're not repulsed by him? Why? Did she mention something like that? Did she mention something like that? Oh, you thought you were slick. But my girl said, no, this is my type. So don't even try me. She tried it. She really did try it. I saw that little comment. She had a little jab in there. You thought you were slick by doing that. You were dangerous B. Okay? Now, coming on to Jessica. Now, of course, with Jessica, I don't believe that she really loves Jimmy. I feel like she liked... let me not say that. I can't say that 100%. But it's giving the way she is that, you know what? She wants to win. It's giving she wants to win right now. And she's happy to create carnage to do so. Okay? All right? So, you know, I just feel like in this situation that with Jessica, she wants to win. Because everything of her comments seemed like just attaining, yes, a prize, attaining the victory. You know, she's going to beat the other woman.
No. Even if he was like butt ugly, I think if I had married him, I would just like close my eyes and let him talk to me, and that would do it for me.
He has a good voice, yeah. If you were to see Jim.
That look right there, that's what I'm trying to say. That look right there is telling me she's ready to do some damage and do some carnage. Okay? She is ready to do some damage and carnage. This is simply about her ego. It was bruised. This is how men play. So, you know when you're seeing a woman do what men do, this is what men do. They get their ego bruised, and they're like, you know what? I gotta prove that I can get you. I gotta prove that I got you. Okay, I gotta prove that, you know, I'm the ish. Okay, all right. So listen, I don't see any love in this situation at all.
Jimmy, do you have things that you would say?
I do have questions.
Okay.
And I don't even know if the opportunity will ever present itself, but if we were in person and I heard his voice, I'm like, what would that do to me? I've spent...
Not her saying his voice would do something to her. Not her saying his voice will do something to her. Okay? Listen, she just wants to have her moment. Just like she did with the EpiPen. She wants to have her moment. She wants to make that boy... She wants to make that boy suffer. Okay? She wants that boy to be groveling. Disheveled. Wants that boy to be in the wilderness. Searching, ambling around. Like, you know what? You know? Wants that boy's heart. Just crushing it. And finishing it. That's all she wants. There's nothing good coming out of that place. There's nothing good coming out of Jessica. That girl wants to destroy the brother. Yeah? Honestly.
Almost the entire time I've been back, like trying to heal.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see him and be like set back. Because like our first initial conversation was like so electric. I'm like, we're gonna like electrocute each other.
Yeah.
When we actually touch.
But
are they in love? Do you think?
I think so. I think so.
I hope, for her sake, I hope so.
Jeremy was in a bit of a love triangle, probably leaping to conclusions as I do. I'm not sure if he shut.
So, it's really interesting. Okay, it's really interesting because, you know, the situation with Laura, you know, Jessica. Sorry, I just, she's a smart woman. Okay, yes, her upbringing does make her cutthroat. Yes, because rejection is a part of her upbringing. You know, you go into foster care, your upbringing is a part of rejection. And so getting rejected in this place by someone like Jimmy too, especially, I'm sure when she saw the picture, she said, oh, and you look, oh. I'm sure when she saw him add her on Instagram, she even further doubled down like, oh. So he messaged me he added me on Instagram and I saw a picture of him. Oh. If I said EpiPen before, he gonna need a whole defibrillator, okay? He gonna need a hurt. That's what he gonna need. Because honestly, she's thinking about it like, I'm so beautiful, I'm so good looking, I'm so attractive. This brother can't reject me. This brother cannot reject me. And to be fair, the way that Jimmy's behaving with the way that Jimmy's behaving with Chelsea, she's got a good point. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think she liked that either. You're right, Jay. She probably didn't like the fact that he followed her and then blocked her after. Okay, all right. So I definitely hear that as well.
Go. Like he hasn't already chosen which way he's going. Where would she get the audacity to send a message? Has been forthcoming with all of it, and I don't think he's in the wrong.
No,
are we?
No, we're not. I didn't mean to say Jimmy. I wasn't thinking about him. Oh my God, I hate myself. Ugh. Like, no, I'm not over Jimmy. Like, I don't know if anyone in my position would be. Like, he will forever hold a part of me that nobody else does. And I'd be lying if I say I didn't still get butterflies.
This girl's she's a liar and she's an actress. Okay? She's a liar and she's an actress. He's a liar and an actress. Okay, so listen, this girl knows exactly what she's doing. She's going to spin him up. Yes, sorry, yeah, Jimmy withdrew. He didn't block her. Apologies. Oh, is it? Hey, is that episode 9? Because I don't know anything about it. Anyway, so yeah, so the situation between obviously Jessica and she's a liar and an actress, man. She just wants to be able she just wants to be able to get at Jimmy and let him know. And yes, you're right, Life of Bodge. It's diabolical behavior. Okay? It's diabolical behavior. Absolute diabolical behavior. Because the fact that old girl is complaining, knowing that Jessica is here plotting to take a next man, yeah, it's diabolical behavior. I'm not mad at it though. It's diabolical behavior. Okay? All right? So I understand it. I'm not going to be mad at it. It's just diabolical behavior. Just diabolical behavior. You know the ones there.
I mean, I'm a human being. I've replayed and I have dreams often about like conversations we had and like plans we made and like experiences we had like in the pods. Kelsey is stunning. She's perfect in literally every way. But like I've done my own digging and all of his exes look like me. Yeah.
Damn, the fact that all his exes look like Jessica is even more mad. If all the exes look like Jessica, it's even more mad. It's even more mad. Okay? All right? It's even more mad. Okay? So, listen, I'm not mad at it. I hear it. It's political, but I'm not going to be angry at it. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not going to be angry at it at all. Yeah? Let it flow and let it move. You feel me? Yeah? I'm not going to be angry at all. I think that Jessica will try to entangle Jimmy. I don't know if she will win or not. I'll wait to see episode 9 and see, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens, innit? You get me? But let's go on to the main event today. I want to go on to the main event today. Because today, I want to say something. Okay? All right? I'm not going to lie to you.
We have watched and listened from the mountains. We have watched with disgust.
Because I want to say something. We're going to deal with Kenneth and we're going to deal with Brittany. Okay? It is time for the main event today. Kenneth and Brittany. This conversation hurt my eyes, my ears, and my soul. Because I'm still not over it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure how I'm processing it. But there's a lot to deal with. Okay? All right? On both their parts. Okay? So we're going to deal with this situation because it was hot. Okay? All right? It was hot. Okay?
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
All right? So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into this particular conversation. So before we do, make sure again, you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate y'all. We're going to get into this real deep topic. And I'm going to start it by talking about the topic of desire because I think it's an important thing, right? So let me play a little bit of a clip and then we're going to talk as well on this subject, okay?
Yeah. Because for me, that's not true for me. So if you feel like you don't have a crave for me, thank you for telling me that. But I don't feel like I'm missing the crave for you. I feel like I work a lot. There are times where I am trying to be affectionate to you.
Okay. Where do I start? Let's go here. First and foremost, the word desire means to have a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Desire, strong feeling or wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Another definition is strongly wish for or want something. The craving and wanting them is active behavior and energy. Okay? The craving and the wanting is an active behavior and energy. It is the way you do, the way you move, the things you say, the way you touch, the way you look. Yeah? So when it comes to this word desire, okay, you can't fake it because it goes beyond what you just said. It goes beyond what you did. It goes into how you did something and how you say something, right? It goes into tone. It goes into context. It goes into even how you're breathing and how you're moving, how you respond, how you receive. That all plays into desire. I'm gonna be real with you, right? So you can't fake desire, right? And here's one of the biggest things, right? If you're dealing with an avoidant person, that's me, right? Okay. When they're not fully involved, but they don't find you physically attractive, or they don't find you sexually attractive, or there's an emotional issue, whatever you want to call it, right? There is a thing that happens when it comes to desire. What happens is what I call the hot and cold, right? An avoidant will start off really strong, especially with an avoidant and anxious person. An avoidant will start off really, really strong. They will give you all this desire, care, appreciation, love, and this and that and that. And you'll feel like, whoa, what is this? Then, once you start getting close, they remove the rug from underneath your feet. Because now as you're getting close, they start feeling like you're doing too much. You too on me, right? You too pressed. And then they start the cycle of push and pull. And they start this cycle of pulling away so that you can chase, so they get the thrill back in their spirit, right? So as they pull away, the anxious person is liable to try and chase, because the anxious person too is looking for validation in collecting you, chasing you, and bringing you back. Right? The validation for the avoidant person is once he pulls away, you run and you chase. He's validated. Now, Kenneth has showed me something here, right? In the pods, it was beautiful. They got outside. I know it wasn't a woman. I know it's not a woman. That's not a woman that he potentially wanted, whatever, right? But that desire has slipped away. Okay? And like I said, you can't fake desire because it's an energy. It's the way and the how that you do, right? And so in that space, okay, in that space where the avoidant and the anxious person oftentimes link, right? What's happening is he's going to want you to get into a particular loop because he needs to be validated. You're going to enter the loop because you want to be validated, right? And you end up pulling each other's triggers. And it goes round and round and round, right? As he pulls away, he cools down. And when he cools down, he's like, okay, cool. When you come running, he's able to come back with you, right? So the anxious person, once they collect that person who's avoidant, they're like, oh my God, I did it. I've gone and got him. Because remember, anxious person likes control. So the person, they've got him, I've got it. I've managed to, in my power, I've managed to go and grab that person back into my life. That's the kind of anxious avoidant cycle. Now, let's take the anxious avoidance cycle out. I wanted to explain that first part. Let's take that part out, okay? And if you're somebody in that cycle, pay attention to the loops. Because if you're somebody who's in that avoidant anxious cycle, you will notice that avoidant is not very good at emotions at all. They aren't good at it, right? And you always find yourself wondering whether they care about you, love you, appreciate you. You are always wondering if they can give you emotional support and emotional care. You're always going to be starved because they always are in that cycle that So they get excited when they win you back. All right? Or when you pull away finally as an anxious person and they go and grab you, they get excited that they've won you back. And they're going to get hot again because you're too close to them. You should never be unsure about where you stand in that relationship with that person. Now, let's go into this more practically, because this is not about avoidant and anxious per se. Okay? This is about Kenneth and Brittany. Let's go into it.
And you may feel like you don't want it at the moment. Normally, like when I kiss you, it's like a kiss and you just go back. Mm-hmm. So cool. I'm a respectful man. I'm not going to force myself or push myself up on you. I'm going to take what I see to be something that you are comfortable with, or a way that you are comfortable with, like proceeding.
Okay, now the question around desire here, yeah, was stemmed by our good sis Brittany. She actually said, "Hold on a minute. I want to be able to, I want to say this. Look, I don't want to give in to temptation, but give me a little bit of temptation. Yeah? She said, listen, I want to be able to pray the prayer of deliver us from temptation. That's what she wanted. Okay? What she wanted was a little bit of the, give me something to say, I'm hot, but I need to pray and say, God, let me not fall right now. Right? She wanted to feel like, you know what? I'm on edge. And I'm not mad at it, because you should feel on edge. Right? There should be a healthy tension. The Bible says, if you're hot, marry. So Paul was clearly a sharp person in the toolbox, because he knew there's heat. She's not feeling no heat right now from you. Right? She's not feeling no heat right now from you. Now, of course, she's playing close to the edge with the fire, right? But the reality is, there must be some type of fire that you have to feel. Okay? There must be some type of desire you want to feel. There must be some type of, you want me and you come after me and come and get me. You want that kind of feeling. He hasn't given it to her. And you don't have to do that by sexing her. This is where a lack of understanding what intimacy actually means. When men have a problem with understanding what intimacy actually is, this is where we end up with. You get either you're all or nothing. Intimacy isn't the sex. And the passion isn't the sex. The desire isn't the sex. Right? That is as a result of, but it's not the sex. Desire, passion, okay? A wanting is not about the sex. Okay? It is about the fact that you yourself don't have the energy of pursuing. You have no passion in your pursuit. Right? You have no passion in your wanting. And you have no passion in your desire. Your flames are flickering very low and without no heat. Right? So the person is not receiving that heat from your fire. Your fire doesn't have to burn. Your fire doesn't even have to touch, but they should feel some heat. Right? You should feel some heat. She's not feeling that, bro. Right? She's not feeling that at all. And it's because of how you really feel about her. There is something blocking that particular aspect. You might not like her. You might not like white women. You may have thought yourself, how am I going to explain this to my family? Okay, I know some of you are questioning sexuality. I don't like to do that too often. There is something missing. Right? There is something missing. So when someone's saying they want to feel that passion, they want to feel that desire from you, it's not sex that you need to dive into. It's not go out and buy a gift that you need to dive into. It is your core inner being and tackling the desire within yourself. Do you desire your partner still? Does that fire need to be restoked? Let's get into it. I said she can't come in the march. I'm done.
Yeah.
Even last night when I woke you up, I was trying to be very affectionate. You pushed me off of you. I was in that mode and you weren't. So when we talk about why are certain things not progressing, we gotta also be introspective about the parts that we are playing too in that role. And right now, being transparent, I don't feel as if you are being introspective about the role that you have played for me as a man in regards to that level of intimacy.
I said it, I'm gonna say it again. I'm going to say it again for y'all if you don't hear me at the back. If you hear me at the back and you're at the back and you can hear me at the back, good, hear me at the back, put your thumbs up, you can hear me at the back. Let me say it to you again. When brothers are wounded emotionally, they can't do romance because they're emotionally wounded. They can't do desire because they're emotionally wounded. They end up trying to play the role of a woman. They want to be pursued. They want to be desired. They want to be the one that is a catch and the prize because they're injured. As a man, you are in a position of giving. But you see how he flipped it? Right? You see how he flipped it? Instead of saying, hey, look, do you know what? Because do you know why? Because he was ready to go. Right? He was ready to go. right? That's why when it got to the conversation about desire, instead of him saying, babe, you know what I desire? What? I want you, but you know what? I want to be able to be respectful. But babe, what? You know I want to tear that ass up, but you know, by the good Lord of grace, I can't do that, right? You know I'm struggling in this department. You know I want to tear that ass up, but I'm struggling by the grace of God, right? We don't hear that conversation. What we do hear, okay, is a flip. Well, I crave for you, so if it's not me, it must be you. That brother was already outside the door. He was already gone. That brother was already gone. He was no longer there anymore. Right? That brother was already gone. So in that situation, when he flips the tables on her and says, actually, it's you, and says, actually, at 1 a.m., I woke up and you weren't really on it. All he was trying to tell her was, good night. What is the passion between telling you at 1 a.m. good night? You're already asleep. What kind of desire is that I want to tell you at 1 a.m. good night? You know what I'm doing at 1 a.m. when I wake you up? Do you know what I'm trying to do at 1 a.m. when I wake you up? Because it ain't to tell you good night. I'm trying to put you to sleep again. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's got nothing to do with waking up. You're lying to me and you're not being honest about how you really feel, because there ain't no way. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. There ain't no way you're going to tell me you woke me up at 1 a.m. to say, babe, I just want to tell you good night. So you know I got to get up at 5 a.m. in 4 hours time. Sorry, in 3.5 hours time to go to work. Bear in mind, you didn't help me do this, the house as well. You want to wake me up at 1 a.m.? You're bluffing.
Because like last night, I did want to not to do anything like sexually, because we have been going true with this vow we made to each other and to God. But I definitely came to you and just wanted to like love on you, because I did get home and you were sleeping before you went back to sleep, and you wasn't in that mindset.
Let me just say this honestly again, guys. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, I don't care if you're Paul in the Bible. Yeah, unless you're Jesus, and even Jesus wasn't putting himself in that position. Yeah, there ain't no way you don't feel no heat. Okay, there ain't no way you ain't feel no heat. Listen, if you got a Christian brother who can stay in the bed with you several times and never ever touch you, you might want to question whether he's asexual or gay. And I know it sounds wild, but I'm sorry. If I find you attractive, I don't care how good your discipline is. If I'm in a bed with you, your body's next to my body, I'm gonna feel some type of way. So I may move my hands and maybe I may say, I'm so sorry, let me stop, right? You may feel some type of way. You might touch me and tell me I'm going to stop. But I'm going to tell you something. If they don't want to do anything with you, they don't like you like that. They don't. Okay? It's just honestly what the truth is. Because as a man or a woman, you're going to feel heat because you're sexually attracted to the person you're right next to. Ain't no man got that perfect discipline. There is no man who has perfect discipline. So when you get into a bed and I sit in the bed with you several times, I sleep in the bed with you several times, just know my day is coming. That's why they said Joseph had to run, because that day was coming. There ain't no way at 1 a.m. you're going to be touching me and saying goodnight.
I didn't take it personal though. I accepted it.
Yeah.
If you're in the zone, like if you're like business, if you're in like, I got to make this happen, that doesn't really give like, I want intimacy. That doesn't really give, I want to be held, I want to be touched. That gives like, stay out of my way, let me get this stuff done.
You're going to hurt your
It's okay, I'm good. But that's the thing, that is how you show up often. And I've had to accept that because I chose you. I think
now he said, obviously, and that's a fair point. Okay. It's a fair point that what he said was actually, you know what? When you show up in your business mindset. Now, remember, I told you guys about Brittany already. Okay, I told you about Brittany, and I told you about that masculine energy that she carries because of the trauma she's gone through. But I said that he carries a feminine energy, and when you're in inverted energies, it's not a safe place to be. Okay, it's not a safe place to be. Now, here's my thing. Even if you're in the masculine, I'm telling you this now, baby. If I saw Brittany Even me that doesn't want to date a white woman, but if I saw Brittany and she had them little shorts on that she had the other day, it would have been a problem. My eyes would have told you that I have some passion and it's on. Okay? My eyes would have told you that, damn. There would have been desire in there. You would have seen me. Do you see what I'm saying to you? You would have seen something about me that told you, woo! Something about that. Telling me, I don't care how business-minded you would have been, I would have come. And remember, this is early days. This is not your 5 years into a relationship and you already have a history of being good. This is at the very beginning where you're bunny rabbits and you're in the honeymoon phase. So actually, there's no excuse. When you're in the maybe a 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I get it. But this is the very beginning. Okay? This is the very beginning. So when you're in the very beginning, you're excitable. Yeah? I'd have seen you walking with a laptop. I would have come in there, grabbed you, give you a little kiss on your neck, maybe touch you, slap your booty or something. I'm going to do something that's going to make you feel some type of way. Because that's the kind of person I am. I desire you in that format. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Right? And my argument would have been much bigger if I came to you and I slapped you on the booty and you're saying, no, that you don't like that. I'd have had an issue. It wouldn't have been her coming to you. I'd have been coming to you like, what's going on, babe? Because I ain't going to lie to you. You know what I mean? I've been slapping your booty. I've been trying to touch your shoulders. I've been trying to kiss your neck. You've seen a bit far away from me. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, something's changed. What's going on? Right? Because if I have that desire for you, I'm going to want to pursue it. And this is why I think about us as men. We know this. We know this. And we know what it looks like. Yes, he's in his feminine bag. And that's the problem. He's in his feminine bag. He's all in the emotions. And he's all in the pursuit, being pursued. I don't want to be pursued. I want to pursue you. I want to pursue you. Okay? Someone said coveting that one. Hey, she a fine babe. I ain't gonna play with you. Okay? I ain't gonna play with you.
What I am getting the most concerned about is when you start to question the status of our relationship. And to me, I wonder, when life continues to happen, is it gonna always be a question about how I feel about you? Mm-hmm. I can't talk about the crave. Yes. I can't talk about the crave because like only you, like I can show up as me, but like if you don't have a crave for me or us, that's true.
Now, I want you to notice a big difference between Chelsea and Brittany, their responses. Even though Kenneth is saying some wild ass things and we're like, this don't make no sense. Okay? This don't make no sense. Even though Kenneth is saying this stuff, notice Brittany's response. It's not as wild and as caricature and as out there as it was with Chelsea. We saw Jimmy, right? Even though Kenneth is saying things that she doesn't like to hear, right? In that moment, she's still paying attention, listening, waiting for her turn before she says what she says. She's not getting triggered. Of course, it's painful what she's hearing, but she's not getting triggered the way that Chelsea was. This is what I'm talking about, the difference. Okay? All right? So, in that moment here, he's trying to say that it's on you. Now, here's my thing. Again, let me say it again once more. Let me say this for you. Are you guys listening at the back? Are you? Those of you at the back, I can see some of you at the back there. Just come inside. Yeah, you come inside. Come inside. Because you're standing by the back and I want you to come in a little bit inside. Come inside. If you tell me, yeah, that you feel like I'm not desiring you, I'm either going to give you examples, proper good examples of me desiring you, or I'm going to say, listen, do you know what? All right, cool. Like, I want to make sure I want to know how I can desire you, because I'm going to lie to you. I desire you. And I thought I was doing that. So let me know how I should desire you. Let me know what I should do, because I want to make sure you're desired, because I like you, I care about you, and your feelings matter to me most. Right? My next thing isn't to now come out and be like, let me flip it onto you. Let me tell you that, you know what? No, actually, you're the one that has a desire issue. And if I in my head and right senses tell you that you are the one that has an issue with craving me, why am I not shook? Why am I not scared? Why am I not feeling some type of way that my girl doesn't desire me? I want you to deep it. No, think really deep this is what we're saying here, right? Really deep what I'm telling you in this situation, because it's gonna blow your mind. Why would I not feel some type of way? Clearly, I say I'm craving you and I'm wanting you. And then you come and tell me, no, I feel like you not craving me. And I go, oh, actually, you know what? It's you. And yet in the same moment, I'm not pressed about it. I'm not pressed about it at all. Yeah, I care about you, right? If I feel like it's you, I'm going to be pressed because I'm craving you and you're not craving me. This is mad. You know what I'm saying to you? This is madness. How are you not craving me? I crave you. You mean to tell me you ain't craving me? Yeah, because I'm out the door already. 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 I'm out the door.
And that's you. I've never been engaged before. I chose you. I can't just allow moments or a day to be a thing that makes me say,
Right. It can't
I
be
wonder
the
how Brittany
determining
feels. I wonder if she's still locked in with me.
Mm-hmm.
But now the craving thing, that is a feeling that you should have, that if you don't have that, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Now, again, he's way too freaking calm. He's way too freaking calm. When you're telling me this relationship's about to break down, okay? When you're telling me that this relationship's about to break down, it's way too calm. They're that calm, they don't care. They don't care. I'm not saying you need to be... Nobody's saying that at all. What I'm saying is, to him to be that calm, knowing that his girl doesn't crave him, he's already out. Right? He's mad explaining the situation, but he's already out. There ain't no passion in his voice either.
I am very affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very affectionate. We barely kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, haven't made out.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, that just seems really awkward to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Now, Olga was starting to break down. I felt for Brittany. I felt for her. Look at her. She is trying to push through how she feels to try and get to the other side. She is pushing through to try and explain something to him, and it means that much to her. Look how the passion's coming through. Look at the emotions. No, I'm not talking about the tears. I'm talking about the way she's talking about the situation. Right? So at this point, my thing is, listen, look. You know how I feel about people crying. Okay? Olga was trying to let him know, listen, I care about the situation. I do. I care about it. And I want to see it work. And you're hurting me, man. You're hurting me. And I'm trying to explain things to you. That's why I should get into that place of that breakdown, you know?
I think it upsets me so much because I want so badly to be able to experience like so much of that crave that I had with you in the pods.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just scaring me that that I'm not feeling like that consistently.
Because he ain't giving it. She ain't feeling it because he ain't giving it. He's not trying to give it. He don't want to give it. He's not in the business of giving it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a breakup convo. That's the maddest thing about this. It wasn't a breakup convo. Right? It literally, Olga was basically saying, listen, if you want to hit it from the back, give me the holy breakage. And we've got from there, holy breakage, to you want to break up with me? Yeah. That's wild. That is wild. We've gone from I want you to break my back to now break the relationship up. That is wild. That is very, very wild. Hey. It's this part here.
I'm so confident that spiritually what it's supposed to be for me will be.
Yeah.
And even though I have so much, I will still be the biggest supporter of you and believer in you. But also,
when someone starts saying, I'll be the biggest supporter and believe in... Oh, stop. When someone starts saying I'll be the biggest supporter and believer in you, just know that they've already made their exit plan. I can't lie to you. When they start saying, you know, I'll be the biggest supporter and da-da-da-da-da for you, they've already left. Okay? All right? They've already left. He's already gone. Okay? He's exited. Girl is in tears, bro. Tears. But brother's gone. He's left already. You know? Someone said they're eating him up on the... Yo, they are going to get him good. He's going to get it good from the black people and the white people. He is done for. Okay? He is done for. Oh, is it? She said she initiated the breakup. Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I have to watch that interview and see.
Right.
We've been here before. This time feels like you're really walking out the door.
Yeah, brother left on his phone as well. That was mad to me. Can't lie to you. Okay? Brother left with the phone up. Yeah, that's mad. Yeah. Yeah. I can't lie to you. Even though she did it, it still doesn't change anything. The brother was on his phone way too much. And I felt like with him, I felt like with him also, he was on the phone too much and he distanced himself. He was already signing out. He was already signing out. He had already emotionally distanced himself. He was already signing out. You know what I mean? Already had gone. Yeah. Listen, my time is up. 2 hours have come up real quick. Didn't even realize that. Listen, we out of here, man. You know, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show and enjoyed the conversation. Listen, make sure you guys, like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button as well. We appreciate you guys for joining us as well today. If you're new to the channel, leave a comment below as well. All right, because this is crazy. That's what I can say. This was crazy. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you again. Episode 9 tomorrow. Okay, episode 9 tomorrow, guys. Much appreciation. Goodbye.